so welcome to your playground. Hope you enjoy. For this one, there will be less cues, there won't be as many. So, the idea with this one is just to move and play and explore. So, use the cues, use the directions, but don't feel like you have to do everything that we're doing the way that we're doing it. Let yourself be taken to a place that now you can explore, that now you can play. Look for the place that feels good, look for the place that gives you something full of wonder and curiosity, and explore there. That's the whole idea of this whole thing. Find something there, find some magic in the way that you move. Keep your knees wider than your toes, keep a little lift of the inner ankles as you're drawing in. Have fun. Ready? Yeah. Let up your feet right underneath your hips. Let your toes turn in softly. Soften the knees. Slide the top and bottom of your pelvis back. Soften the ribs back. Let your arms hang heavy by your sides. Close your eyes. So it's about the softest, most subtle chair that you can imagine. The place where you feel most at ease, where the ribs are floating right above the pelvis. Take a few breaths here. Softening the front of your body. Leaning back. Softening the layers to go deeper in. Softening the eyes and the jaw. Because even in constant movement, there can be a stillness at the center. The center of a hurricane, center of a tornado. There's a center that stays still. So as you move and everything starts to spin, can you be that place in the center? That soft place that you can lean back into. And let your movements dance around that place. Take a deep inhale. And soft exhale. And again, deep inhale. And soft exhale. On your next inhale, let your eyes softly open, float your arms up. And as you exhale, soften the pelvis back, soften the knees. Let yourself lean back, let your upper body come forward. And how far back can you take your hips? You can let yourself pulse, so it's not a one and done. Let yourself come out, and then slide your hips back, slide your pelvis back as much as you can. Yeah, keep the toes turned in slightly. Soften the top and bottom of your pelvis back so the pubic bone isn't tucking under, and the top of the pelvis isn't pushed forward. The top and bottom are softening back. Even let your thighs go in as you go back. Sitting bones towards each other, lift the inner ankles so there's this tilt of the weight into your outer feet. Sitting bones towards each other, open the wings. Exhale, soften the pelvis back, vortex chair. Sitting bones towards each other to open. Exhale, soften the pelvis and the ribs back. How far back can you go? You can even reach your arms forward gently as you take your hips way back. Sitting bones towards each other. This time let the inner ankles lift. Keep the knees wide. Come up on the outer edges of your feet. Keep the pelvis back. Soften the ribs back. Float the arms as if they're in the ocean. Let the back of your shoulder blades lift up towards the back of your skull. Exhale, stay on your toes. Soften the pelvis. Soften the ribs back. And then let your heels come down. Take your hips back even further. Sitting bones towards each other. Open the wings. Come up high up on the outer edges of your feet. Exhale, pelvis back, ribs back, vortex chair. Good. Keep moving on your breath. Sitting bones towards each other, open. Keep the knees wide. Sitting bones towards each other, pelvis back. Exhale, hollow back, vortex chair. Find a pulse. Sitting bones towards each other, widen the knees. Come up high. Exhale, soften back. One more time. Sitting bones towards each other, come up tall. Stay on the ball mounds of your feet. If it's okay for you, you can bring your heels down if that's too much. Soften the pelvis back, soften the ribs back. Start to tilt forward. As you tilt forward, Top and bottom of the pelvis go back. Arms stay heavy. Inner ankles stay lifted. Keep sliding your pelvis back. Soften the front of your body back. Exhale, float all the way down, heels down. Inhale here. Keep the knees soft. Exhale. Again, inhale here. Exhale here. Keep the knees wide. Come up halfway. Bring your hands to your thighs. Let the inner ankle stay lifted. Top and bottom of pelvis back. Soften the ribs. Let your wings open. Let the low back stay a little bit rounded. Exhale, float down. Inhale, reverse skydive. Soften the front of your body back. Catch the wind in your sails. Exhale, float down, skydive down. Again, inhale, reverse skydive. Keep the pelvis and ribs back. Exhale, float down. This time, bring your right wrist to your left knee. Inhale, reverse skydive. Let your left wing open to the left. Exhale, float down. Inhale, reverse skydive. Sitting bones towards each other, unfurl. Exhale, float down. Left wrist to right knee. Inhale, reverse skydive. Open the right wing out. Keep the ribs and pelvis back. Exhale, float down. Inhale, reverse skydive. Both wings open. Exhale, float down. Reverse skydive. Left wrist, right knee. Open up to the left. Exhale, float down. Other side. Left wrist, right knee. Reverse skydive. Pelvis back. Good. Keep going on your breath. Inhale, open left. Exhale, down. Inhale, open right. Exhale, down. Inhale, reverse skydive, both wings. Exhale, float down. Inhale here. Exhale here. Step your feet back, downward facing dog. Bring your knees down. Turn your hands in slightly. Lift the inner edge of your hand like the arch of your foot. Spin your elbows back until your elbows are pointed more back towards your knees. Lean forward. Keep the weight in your shoulder blades. Lift your knees back up. Keep the connection of the weight from your shoulder blades into the outer edge of your hand. Inner hand stays lifted. Bend your knees close to the floor. Push your hands and feet away from each other. Ripple forward plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. On your inhale, push yourself back onto your heels. Exhale, arms forward, soften the ribs back. Inhale, lean back, push your arms forward and apart, open your chest. Exhale, hollow back, ribs back, pelvis back. Keep moving with it. Inhale, push the arms forward and apart. Exhale, hollow back, soften back. One more. Stay back in your ribs, open through your heart. Exhale, hips back, arms forward. Inhale, round forward, all fours. Exhale, tilt your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Soften your knees, soften your elbows. Let your low belly hollow so you have movement in your pelvis. Let your hips start to turn one way and the other, swaying right and left. Even let your toes lift almost as you're taking a soft walk in place. Pelvis stays back, ribs stay back. Slowly start to take those same steps up to the front of your mat. Soften your knees, toes turn in slightly, knees wide. Inhale, reverse skydive, both wings open. Exhale, float down. Outer hips to outer feet, push down. Roll all the way up. Throat stays hollow to the last second. Come up on the outer edges of your feet, float your arms up. Exhale, vortex chair, pelvis back, ribs back, find a pulse. Let the inner ankle stay lifted so there's this drop of energy up through the pelvis, into the low belly, and all the way up into the diaphragm. Shift your hips back into the left, to the outer edge of your left foot. Shift your hips back into the right, outer edge of right foot.
Keep going side to side. Keep the knees wider than the toes. Outer edge, outer edge. How soft can you make this? Keep sliding the pelvis back. Maybe the arms reach forward. Keep softening the ribs back. The next time that you turn to your outer right foot, stay there. Keep the weight of your head over your outer right foot. Lift the inner left ankle. Float your left foot up. Soften the ribs back. And take your right wrist to your left knee. Let your left foot hang heavy. Lift from your inner right ankle. Soften the ribs back. Let your left wing open out to the left. Left ribs back. Shake the left foot. Good. Keep the ribs back. Keep the pelvis back. Step your left foot more to the left. Shift your weight over to your left. When your left knee goes wider than your left toes, slide your right foot in. Float the right foot up. Slide the pelvis back, ribs back. Lift from your inner left ankle. Shake the right foot. Soften your right ribs back as you open your right wing. Find the pulse here. Good. Again, shift the hips back. Keep your head over your left foot. Reach with your right. Shift your hips all the way over to your right. Slide your left foot in. Float the left foot up. Ribs back, pelvis back. Keep moving on your breath. Lean. Reach with the left foot. Shift the weight of your head over. Left knee goes wide. Float up. Ribs back again. Reach long. How long can you make it? How soft can you make it? Use gravity. Can you sail through the tensions? Keeping soft what doesn't need to be working. What can you do with your arms to balance the weight? The next time that you go over to your right, stay over to your right. Float the left foot up. Soften the ribs back. Tilt forward. Take your left foot back. Bring your left wrist to your right knee. Tap your left toes. Keep the weight all the way over your right foot. Keep your head over your right foot. Hollow the belly back. Slide your left toes in. Bring it back up, crane. Soften the ribs back. Keep your right knee wide. Left hand to right knee. Tap the toes. Belly back, ribs back. Bring it back up. This time, lean forward, ribs back. Tilt. Warrior three. Twisted warrior three. Soften your right knee. Right sitting bone towards left sitting bone. Ribs back. See if you can gently touch the left fingers to the floor. But as you do that, resist your ribs away from the floor. Resist your belly away from the floor. Reach out way in front of you and over to the right. Lift your inner right ankle. Don't do it right in front of you. Reach way out. Jump switch. Now reach way out over to the left. Jump switch. Reach way over to the right. Jump switch. One more time. Reach way over to the left. Jump switch. Step your feet together and fold. Inhale, reverse skydive, halfway up. Exhale, float down. Outer hips to outer feet. Push down, roll all the way up, arms to the sky. Lift your inner ankles. Knees stay wide, sitting bones toward each other. Exhale, vortex chair, soften back. Shift your weight over to the left. Float the right knee up. Keep the weight of the head over the left foot. Reach with the right leg. Shift. Slide. Keep moving on your breath. Find your rhythm. Find a dance with your arms and with your hands that makes sense. Let your body churn and rotate around that center. The next time that you get over to your left foot, stay there. Float the right knee up. Soften the right ankle, soften the right foot, ribs back. And start to tilt. Lean forward with your heart. As you do that, even take the right knee in through center. Let your whole pelvis spiral to the left. Keep the weight on your outer left foot. Tap your right toes. Now bring it back. Slide the toes in. Come back, twisted crane. Soft. Again, lean forward, toe tap. Let the pelvis spiral. Bring it back up. 2 more. Keep the weight on the outer edge of the foot. This time when you bring the knee up, stay there. Soften back, ribs back. Tilt. This time, turn your pelvis. Let your outer right hip drop. Hollow the left low belly and let yourself sit in that left pocket. Reach your right fingers down towards the floor, but as you do that, soften your ribs and soften your belly away from the floor. Now lean forward, way out in front of you and over to the left. Jump switch. Lean way out in front of you, over to the right. Jump switch. Over to the left. Jump switch. One more time, over to the right. Jump switch. Step your feet together and fold. Inhale, reverse skydive, halfway up. Exhale, float down. Let your head hang heavy. Let your eyes soften. Step back into downward facing dog. Hands turn in softly, inner edge of the hand lifts. With soft elbows, spin your shoulder blades until your elbows point more back towards your knees. The back of your neck stays long, belly stays hollow. Find a movement in your pelvis. Let there be a sway in your hips. And with every movement, can you let the belly hollow back more? Almost as if you're excavating. So when you're excavating, it's a pulling in and drawing the tissues out to the sides, like you're going from the shallows into the depths, letting yourself drift deeper into that belly. And bend your knees close to the floor, push hands and feet away from each other, ripple forward plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, push yourself back onto your heels. Exhale, arms forward, hollow back. Stay in the back of your body. Push your arms forward and apart. Lift your chest. Exhale, keep flowing with that hollow back. Inhale, lean back onto your toes. Pelvis stays back. Ribs stay back as you open your heart. Exhale, hollow. 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, hollow. 1 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, pelvis back. Reach the arms forward. Inhale, rounds you forward. Exhale, just slide your hips back. You can bring your forearms down. Give yourself a few breaths here to feel. Reach your hands out in front of you. Lift your knees, downward facing dog. Soften the knees, take more of the weight into your legs. Start to turn your hips over to the left. So hips and heels turn over to the left until your right foot goes all the way flat. Soften your left elbow, push your left hand, right foot away from each other. Let your head stay down, ribs stay back. Left foot is soft. You can even play with lifting the left foot. Take some breaths into the right lung. Bend your knees even more. Turn your hips and heels to the right. Push your right hand, left foot away from each other. Left arm, right foot stays soft. Head stays low. Breathe into your left lung. Even pulse here a little bit. Keep the weight in the legs, but you can bend and straighten the legs slightly. Leaning into that hammock, leaning into the elastic sail of your lateral line. Shift your hips back over to the left. Push left hand, right foot away from each other. If you want to play a little bit more, hollow the belly, soften back. Lift your right hand away from the floor. Keep the push on your left. And see if you can slide the pelvis back. Tap the outside of your left knee, left shin with your right hand. Shift your hands. Put both hands down. Shift your hips over to the right. Push right hand, left foot away from each other. Tap the outer shin. Now keep going. Shift your hips back over the other side. And this time, instead of outer shin, can you go outer ankle? Shift your hips over. Can you go outer heel? Can you touch the bottom of your heel? Now, how soft can you do this? Keep going side, side, bend. What needs to soften? What can hollow back? Keep the weight in the legs. You need to come closer to the floor. Keep resisting the ribs and the pelvis away from the floor as you go side to side. Downward facing dog. Bring your heart slightly forward, walk your feet slightly in. Soften the knees, start to bounce. Keep the weight from the pinky packets into the shoulder blades. Find a little bounce. Maybe you're bouncing both feet one side, both feet the other side. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. You can stay there or bounce your hips up. Clap your feet. See if you can make it even more bouncy. Clap. Clap twice. Make it more bouncy. Clap 3 times. Make it more bouncy. Clap 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Ah, one more time. Clap as many as you can get in. Jump to the front of your mat.
Where was your bounce, Devin?
Inhale, reverse skydive halfway up. Exhale, float down. Again, inhale, reverse skydive. Exhale, float down. Outer hips to outer feet. Unfurl all the way up. Hollow throat comes up last. Lift the inner ankles. Float the arms up. Let the arms open out to the sides, but soft, like you're hanging. Let the pelvis stay back, top and bottom. Soften your ribs back. From the outer sitting bones, outer hips, push into the outer feet. Keep the knees wide. How much taller can you come? Lift the inner ankles. Almost like you're pulling your belly out of your pelvis. You're pulling your lower back out of your pelvis. Can you come up higher? Let the back of your shoulder blades lift 1 more inch. Good. Soften the pelvis and ribs back. Start to tilt forward. Soften the knees. Ribs back like you're floating all the way down. Catch the wind in your sails. Head heavy, head heavy, head heavy. Keep the inner ankles lifted the whole time. When you touch down, inner ankles down. Inhale, reverse skydive halfway up. Exhale, float down. Outer hips to outer feet, push down. Float all the way up. Inner ankles lift. Exhale, vortex chair, soft chair. Shift your hips back into the left, left knee wide. Back into the right, right knee wide. You can let your arms start to go. You can do it fast or slow. Pelvis back, hips one side, hips the other, ribs back, belly back. The next time that you go over to your right foot, stay there. Take all of the weight into your outer right foot. Let the weight of your head stay on your right foot. Float your left foot up. Bring your left foot to the front of your right thigh. Soften the pelvis back, soften the ribs back. Let yourself get small. Bend your standing leg. Soften the ribs back. How small can you get here? Soften the belly back. Top and bottom of the pelvis go back. Now pelvis back, ribs back. Push your arms forward and apart. Lift your chest. Pull your heart open. Now as you exhale, reach with the left foot. Slide your hips over to the left, outer edge of left foot. Slide the right foot in. Bring the knee in close as you bring the foot up. You can turn the standing toes in a little bit so the knee stays wide in the toes. Pelvis back, ribs back. How soft and small can you get here? Keep the soft hollow. Keep into your back body. Let the heart stay anchored back. Push the arms forward and apart. Hips back, pelvis back, ribs back. Good. Vortex chair. Inhale, sitting bones towards each other, open. Exhale, vortex chair. Hips back and to the left. Float the right knee in and then up. Seedling. How small can you get? And you just came out of that seat. Maybe you can touch your shin with your fingers. How soft can you make this? Sitting bones towards each other. Ribs back, pelvis back. Open out through the heart. Reach with the right. Shift your weight. Slide the knee in. Float up. And then soften back. Ribs back. Organize yourself so it makes sense. How small can you get? That's sitting bones towards each other, pelvis and ribs stay back. Rib open through your heart. Exhale, vortex chair. Sitting bones toward each other. Inner ankles lift, open the wings. Exhale, heels up or heels down. Start to float forward. Soft knees. Catch the wind in your sails as you float down. Let yourself hang heavy and close your eyes, soften your knees. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, roll all the way up, arms to the sky. Exhale, vortex chair. Hips back and to the right. Drag the left knee in, float up, crane. Soften the ribs back. And find the pulse here. Could even play with the lift of the inner right ankle here as you tip the weight more into the pinky bone. Soften the ribs back, soften the pelvis back. And instead of kicking the leg forward, can you take the pelvis back so the left leg almost automatically straightens? Tilt forward, warrior three. Tilt your whole pelvis, spiral your whole pelvis to the right. Let your right wing open. Resist your ribs away from the floor. Touch the floor. Step back into a lunge. Turn both sets of toes in, front and back toes in. Bend both knees, hollow the belly, ribs back. Take the whole back thigh and turn it in. Sitting bones towards each other, so even though the toes are turned in, the knees stay wider than the toes the whole time. Sitting bones towards each other to open the wings. Now as you exhale, hollow the belly, hollow the ribs. Let yourself gently spiral towards the right leg. Lean back into the back toes. Push the arms forward and apart. Then as you exhale, hollow back, soft spiral towards your right knee. Left heel flips out. Again, inhale, open. Exhale, soften. One more time. This time as you lean back, stay lean back. Let the arms stay soft. Left heel goes out, ribs back, pelvis back. Now as you start to push into the left toes, let your left hip open. Keep the pelvis back. Chin stays in. Let the arms come out. Almost like you're trying to lift both ankles. Both inner ankles lift. You can start to straighten the front leg more. Ribs back, pelvis back. Let yourself catch the wind right here. And as you exhale, both ankles down. Soften the ribs back. Bend your back knee. Take the arms out. And kind of like that skydive down. Soften back. Let your forehead slowly come towards your right knee. And as you come down, notice the places that get stuck. What can you hollow? What can you soften? Maybe you can tap your forehead to your knee. And look forward towards your toes. Step forward and fold. Inhale here. Exhale here. Again, deep breaths. Inhale, reverse skydive. Exhale, float down. Outer hips to outer feet, roll all the way up. Inner ankles lift. Keep floating on that wind. How connected can you stay through that middle line? Like you're lifting your belly out from inner ankles. This time go right to it. Exhale, vortex chair. Soft pulse. Shift your hips back and to the left. Float your right knee in and up. Find a pulse here. Soft pulse. Ribs back. Open the wing. And then again, in order to straighten the leg, instead of thinking how much strength can I squeeze, how can I organize this? Spiral towards your right. Soften the ribs back. And see if you can reach the leg out, almost as if you're reaching it out through the diaphragm. Good, soft. Good, now lean forward. Warrior three, seagull. Hollow the belly, spiral the whole pelvis towards the left thigh. Left knee stays wide. Resist the ribs, touch the floor. And from right here, step back into your lunge. Turn the toes in. Soften the knees, but even as the toes turn in, relax the pelvis back, ribs back. Sitting bones still go towards each other to keep the knees wide. And then it's that whole thing that spins towards your left thigh. Sitting bones towards each other to open up. Then as you exhale, pelvis back, your whole pelvis spirals a little towards the left thigh. Sitting bones towards each other to open, lean into your back leg. Then as you exhale, weight comes forward, spiral towards your front leg. Keep moving on your breath, sitting bones towards each other, open. Exhale, seaweed lunge, spiral. Just one more. Exhale, spiral. This time when you come up, stay up. Soften your pelvis back. Take more of the weight into your back leg. Ribs back. Sitting bones towards each other. Back knee stays wide. You're leaning more into the back toes. Ribs back. Start to pull up from your inner ankles. Let the arms open up. Yeah, find the place that you're floating here. Lift the back of your ears, almost like you had elf ears. Let your elf ears grow longer so the back of your neck grows longer. Lift both inner ankles up as you lean back into that tension. Good. Exhale, spiral. This time as you lean back, push the arms apart. Lift the chest as you lift the ankles. Good. Exhale, spiral. One more. Inhale, open. And this time, exhale, soften. Soften the ribs back. Parachute lunge. Let the arms come up. Try to catch the wind in your sails. See what can soften, not what can force, but what can soften, what can organize. Making space to bring your forehead to your knee. And if you want to play, you can keep the forehead on the knee and try to step forward with your forehead still on your knee. Inhale here. Exhale here. And step back into downward facing dog. Bend your knees close to the floor. Ripple forward, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, hollow the belly. Lift the ribs. Push yourself back onto your heels. Exhale, arms forward. Inhale, lean back, pelvis back, ribs back, heart anchors back as you open. And take a couple more of those. Hollow back. Stay big and full through your ribs. Let the arms be wings. Let them be an extension of your shoulder blades. An extension of a movement deeper in. Take one more. And then exhale, ribs back. Reach the arms forward. Inhale, round forward. And exhale, hollow back softly. Let your spine roll in any direction that it wants to. Inner hands stay lifted. Elbows stay soft, so the weight's on the pinky, packet of muscles on the hands. And at first, see how little you can do with muscles and how much you can do with breath. Softening from the superficial, from the shallow, into the depths. Press your left hand and right knee away from each other. Let your right arm be almost dead. Heavy arm. And as you push those points, let your spine ripple in a different direction. Right hand, left knee, push away. Left arm goes heavy and dead. And let yourself move. Both hands down. Take a couple rolls and let one of those tilt you up into downward facing dog. Bend your knees softly, bring your heart forward. Turn your heels and your hips to the right. Press your right hand, left foot away from each other. Let your left arm go dead. Head stays heavy. Resist your ribs away from the floor. Step your right foot underneath your left. Bend both knees. Keep the weight in your legs. And as you inhale, lift your left lung up towards the ceiling. Mini wild. Bring your heart down. Step back under. This time, step your left foot under your right. Push your left hand away. Head stays heavy. Ribs back. Take a big breath into your right lung, mini wild. Good, and go back and forth. Right hand goes down, left foot goes back. Step your right foot under. Keep the weight in your legs. Keep pushing from your shoulder blade into your hand the whole time. And find a soft movement here. Maybe it's so soft it barely looks like anything from the outside. Let it be something deep from the inside. Take one more on each side. Then bring your knees down. Sit back on your heels. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths here. Let everything come back in. Open your eyes. Bring your hips down. Take your legs out in front of you. Bend your knees. Let your feet be soft. Hollow your belly. Soften your ribs back. Bring your hands to your knees and lean back. And see if you can find that place of complete ease where you're just balanced, where you're not overworking the feet or the hands or squeezing the hips or the hip flexors. Let your feet kind of softly hang heavy. You can even use your hands. Kind of steer your knees around, steer your legs around. And letting one hip lift, another hip lift. If that's feeling okay with your feet soft. Take your arms out, see if you can find, take your hands off your knees, see if you can find that same softness. Feet stay soft, arms stay soft. Soften back into yourself. And now from here, lift your right butt away from the floor. Hollow back. Other side. Lift your left butt. And you can either make this very soft and very small, or very dramatic and very big. Dramatic. If you're making it dramatic, add some flair. If you want to start walking back, see if you can actually walk your butt back, hollow your belly back, see if you can walk your butt back. Now, if back was hard, see if you can walk your butt forward. Oh, that's difficult. It's a different thing. Bring your feet down. Rest your hands on your knees. Inhale, lift your chest. Take all the weight out of your hips. Let your arms do the holding. Exhale, soften. One more inhale. Exhale, soften. Bring your legs out in front of you. You guys are going to race.
Race?
Race. So, yeah. Okay. So the idea is pelvis back, ribs back, legs soft. So the movement is coming from your spine. All of the movement is coming from your spine. The legs are getting taken for a ride. So everything is hollow belly, draw back. Hollow belly, hollow belly, hollow belly. So you're making space for your legs. We're going to race forward and back. So, yeah, cheating. Well, if you go with leg length, maybe not. All right, here we go. Ready? Set. Go. In the spine, in the spine, in the spine, in the spine. Good. Forward. Forward, 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 forward. One more time. We're not done. It's 2 laps. It's a 2-lap race. Back, 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 back. Forward, 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 forward. Bring your hands to your knees. Bend your knees. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, soften back. Lift your feet. Open your eyes. Soften your hands. Lean over to the left. Lift your right butt. Clap underneath your right. Hollow back. Come back up. Same side. Roll to your right. Clap. Hollow back. Round. Come back up on the same butt. Shift. Clap. Hollow. Roll. Right.
I forgot what side you're on.
That was part of the thing. One more time each side. One more time each side. Bring your legs down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, soften back. And bend your knees, cross your ankles, come back, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale here. Bend your knees close to the floor. Push hands and feet away from each other. Ripple forward. Exhale, lower down. Push yourself back onto your heels. Exhale, hollow back. Find your rhythm. Inhale, open. From your outer hips, push into your outer knees. Exhale, hollow back. Inner thighs roll in. Again, outer hips reach out through your knees. Open. Exhale, hollow back. One more. Inhale, open. Exhale, hips back, arms forward. Inhale, round forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend the knees. Start to bounce. Tap, 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 tap. You can do tiger jumps or sacred roach jumps. If you know what those are, go ahead and do them. If you don't, you jump. Let your legs play once you're upside down. Jump. The sounds are required. Jump. The weirder the better. One more time. Jump. And jump to the front of your mat. My roach lost energy. Inhale, reverse skydive, halfway up. Exhale, float down. Outer hips, outer feet, push down, roll up, arms to the sky. Exhale, vortex chair, soften back. Hollow back, find the pulse. Shift your hips back and to the left, float the right leg up. Reach with the right, lean over to the right. Float the left leg up. Find softness there. Find the movement with your breath. Let yourself step long into a goddess pose. Turn the toes slightly in. Let your inner ankles almost lift, pelvis back, ribs back, sitting bones toward each other so the knees stay wide. Shift your hips back and to the left, back and to the right. Let your arms stay heavy, ribs stay back, belly hollows back, sitting bones towards each other, knees stay wide. Let your hips go way back. And you take your pelvis way back is let your upper body round forward. How far back can you take your pelvis? Maybe your fingers are coming on the floor. Belly stays hollow, resist the ribs. From here, inhale, reverse skydive. Exhale, float down. Inhale, reverse skydive all the way up. Exhale, pelvis back, sitting bones towards each other. Take your arms out. Let yourself parachute forward. As you parachute forward, soften the ribs back. Keep a softness in your mid-back and your low back. And from here, tilt over towards your left leg. Left arm, inner left thigh. Let your right arm open over your ear. Head stays heavy. Come back through center. Reverse skydive. Catch the wind in your sails here. And come all the way back up, goddess. Exhale, sit deeper. Let your shoulder blades reach out through your fingertips. Lean forward. Soften the ribs back. Catch the wind in your sails. Parachute here. Pelvis back. Right arm inside of right thigh. Reach the left arm over. Take a breath here. Come back through center. Hollow the belly. Pelvis back. Inhale, reverse skydive. Exhale, soften the shoulder blades out through the fingertips. Good. Lean forward. Find the parachute in your sails. Find the wind in your sails. Then lean to the left. Right arm over. Back through center. Parachute up. Exhale, shoulder blades out through fingertips. Inhale as you lean forward. Exhale, lean over to your right. Come back through center. Inhale, float all the way up. Turn your right toes in. Keep your left toes where they are. Bend the back knee. Ribs back, pelvis back. Warrior two. Find a softness in your arms. Ribs back, pelvis back. Sitting bones towards each other. From here, you can even lift your inner ankles up so your heels are lifted. See if you can keep your pelvis back and ribs back. Lean forward, parachute down. Lean over towards your left. This time, elephant through center. Lean back towards your right. On your breath, elephant side to side. Lifting one lung, lifting the other lung. Head stays heavy, ribs stay back. Lean into the elastic tension of your lungs, of the top ribs. The next time you go over to your left, stay there. Bring your left elbow, left forearm inside of left thigh. Let your right arm dangle. Soften your ribs. Bend your knees. Let your right fingers almost touch the floor. Take a deep inhale. Ribs lift away from the floor. Inhale into your right lung. Right lung lifts. Right shoulder blade lifts. Right elbow, right hand. Then exhale, soften your ribs away from the floor. Let the right arm come down. Bend the knees as you push sitting bones into heels. Inhale, unfurl up towards the sky. Exhale, reverse it. One more. Push through your feet. Unfurl the arm. Exhale, arm all the way down. Parallel your feet. Fold between your legs. A few breaths here. Right from here, turn your right toes out. Turn your left toes in slightly. From your outer hips, push into your outer feet. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Soften the pelvis back, ribs back. Parachute down. Right arm inside of right thigh. Let your left arm elephant over your head. Soften the ribs back, elephant through center. Back towards your back leg. Go side to side. Breathe into your rib cage. Wait for your breath. Wait for the wind in your sails before you go deeper. The next time that you go over to your right, stay over to your right. Bend your knees. Bring your right forearm to the inside of your right thigh. Ribs back. Pelvis back. Let your left arm dangle. Bend your knees. Push into your outer feet. Lift your left lung. Left shoulder blade. Left elbow. Left wrist. Exhale, reverse it. Ribs reach away from the floor as fingers reach towards the floor. Again, inhale, push into your feet. Unfurl. Exhale, reverse it. One more time. Inhale, unfurl. Exhale, reverse it. Parallel your feet. Fold between your legs. And walk yourself into a downward facing dog. Bend your knees, slide your hips to one side and to the other side. Lean back into your legs. Take the weight out of your arms and let yourself lean back, leaning into the spots that seem interesting. Step your right foot forward, left knee down. Keep the left toe slightly in, arms to the inside of your left leg, and then let yourself start to sway back and forth. Right foot can stay soft. Sliding your hips back, letting the whole right thigh bone move in the hip socket. So don't think one stretch. Think an exploration into the world of that hip. What are the sensations there? The places that seem open and inviting. And the places that seem foreign. You can let your toes slide in a bit or out a bit. But again, not with a force, but with a curiosity. You can even take your arms and walk them way over to the left. Almost giving yourself a side stretch on the right side as you continue to move into that hip. And feel free to linger in the places that need lingering. But again, not with a force, not with a scream or with a command, but with a whisper and a question. Go ahead and make your way back. And switch legs. See how much space you can make on the front of your pelvis. Keep the knee wide as you move, especially at the beginning. And move slowly and curiously. Even notice where you place your arms and what that does. Come back to downward facing dog for just a breath. And bring your right foot forward one more time. Take your left arm right underneath your left shoulder, turn the left hand in, even take it forward. Turn both toes in, let your left heel fall out to the left. Right knee stays over right heel, but walk your left foot back as much as you can. So you're already feeling some tension, some pull in the front of your left hip, as long as it's okay on your back. Take the pelvis back, hollow the belly, ribs back. And now keeping the left knee close to the floor, lift your left knee away from the floor. Let your left heel fall more out to the left. Let your upper body gently start to turn towards your right. Now reach your right knee and left heel away from each other. Soften your left elbow. And imagine that you're pulling your left low belly out of your left pelvis as you do a gentle twist to your right. So you're trying to pull the belly out. And then soften, bring it down. Take one more. Lift the knee, the heel falls out. Reach front knee, back heel away from each other. And pull your left belly out from your pelvis. Bring the knee down. Switch legs. So left knee stays over left heel. Make sure the left knee goes wide so the toes can turn in. You can even be on the outer edge of your foot. Instead of having the right hand way out, bring the right hand underneath you so it's more supportive. Inner hand stays lifted. Let the right heel fall out. Belly back, pelvis back, ribs back. Lift the right knee just a millimeter or two. And then left knee and right heel reach away from each other. Let your upper body gently twist to the left and pull your right belly out of your right pelvis. And instead of just doing one and hold, you can bring it down and come up again. And bring it down and come up again. Almost like a flossing, like a pulse. Another 5 seconds here for whatever you like. And bring it down. Step back onto all fours. Sit back on your heels. Close your eyes. Let your ribs soften back. Bring your arms forward. So this doesn't have to be intense. Soft camel flow. So again, it's just about getting the opening, getting the expansion, not about getting the depth necessarily. Toes turn in slightly. The heels go out. Come up a little. Pelvis back. Outer hips push into the outer knees. So that's the push that opens the front of the pelvis, not a pushing of the hips forward. Soften the ribs back, pelvis back, arms forward. Inhale, lean back, outer hips push into outer knees. Lift your chest, ribs back. Exhale, hollow back. Find your movement and breath. It can be as soft as you need it to be. Let it move through your whole spine. Let yourself linger. And it doesn't have to be straightforward. What happens if you turn slightly? What happens if you lean slightly? About 3 more seconds to do one more. And then sit back. Take your legs out in front of you. And then let yourself soften back. So you come all the way down to laying. Give yourself a moment to feel the ground underneath you. Knees bent, feet are on the floor. Feet about as wide as hips, turn your toes in. Soften the pelvis back. Again, it's not a squeeze. Soften the front low ribs back. Let the belly hollow back. So you feel more of the ground underneath you. And now instead of pushing your pelvis up to the ceiling, from your outer hips, reach your outer knees away from you. So the push is from your outer hips into your outer feet. And let that reaching of the knees away, let that be what lifts your pelvis. And then keep some of that reach. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lower your spine back down to the ground, hollowing and softening. Getting as much of your spine to touch as you can. And again, when your tailbone touches outer hips, push into outer feet. The knees reach away. So the front of the pelvis opens from that reach away. Slowly bring it back down, resisting it. You can shift more of the weight into your outer left foot. And now, one at a time, from your outer left hip, push into your outer left foot, reach your left knee away. And then stay tall, but then switch it. Outer right hip pushes into outer right foot, right knee reaches away. And keep going side to side. Outer hip to outer foot one side, outer hip to outer foot the other side. And you can test how much you can reach, how much you can open. And then one more time, bring it down. Outer hips into outer feet, reach both knees away, gently and soft. And even more soft, like a sigh. Bring the whole spine back down. Give yourself a moment here. Feel your spine on the ground again. Take your feet a little wider than your hips. Let both knees fall over to the left. And again, this time from your outer right hip, reach out through your outer right knee. So your right knee is reaching away from you, but it's from the outer hip. You can reach your right arm over your head by your ear. You could even take your left hand to your left knee and use that to get more of a reach. It doesn't have to be static. You can breathe into it, softening and lengthening it. And then go ahead and switch. Knees go the other way. Outer left hip reaches through outer left knee. And then gently let your left arm, almost as if it's growing out of your left side, out of your left hip, reaches long. Right hand, right knee. And you can breathe or soften and lengthen. And back to center. Knees still bent, feet on the ground. Let your arms be by your sides. Give yourself a few breaths to go deeper still. In the surface layers. back into the hazy place. Softening deeper into your belly, deeper into your spine, deeper into your breath. Like a free diver, slowly. Sinking into the mysteries of the ocean. Let your legs straighten out. Let every exhale take you deeper still. Even to the place where your thoughts begin. Where your dreams are born. And rest. You can stay here as long as you like. Let your breath deepen. Let that breath turn into movement as you stretch your arms and legs away from each other. Let your body hollow into itself as you turn to your right side. Take a breath here. And push yourself up to seated. So take a few breaths in the seat. Take a deep inhale. And soft exhale. And let your hands touch your thighs or even the ground in front of you. Lean into it as you take a deep inhale. Soft exhale. And one more deep inhale. And soft exhale. Lean back, open your eyes. How you doing? Is that okay? Was that a sarcastic applause?
No, what the fuck, I love it.
Oh, that looks sarcastic.
I'm very high from this.
I'm a little high from this. How you doing, Z?
Alright.
Yeah?
No words. No words now.
Okay.